All right, so let's look at lesson 5. We're going to start at 15 here. So we're going to start working with if statements in our event handlers. So, for example, to kind of read through this one, what it says, if a button is clicked, or sorry, when button clicked, okay, the count will then equal count plus 1. So it's going to add 1. And then it's going to set the text of the count display label to count. So as the button is clicked, it will display the new value of count. So it'll probably, every time you click, it'll go up 1. Now the next part is new. It says if count equals 20. So the double equals is equal. Okay, the other one is gets. So count gets count plus 1. Double equals is, we'll just say equal. So if count equals 20, set screen to game over. So what that means is if count hits 20, the screen will change to the game over screen. That's basically how it works. Now the operator double equals or equal, it doesn't have to be that. It could also be less than or more than and whatnot. But either way, it's keeping track, and it's a logical statement. Okay. There is more about that. I don't think we want to go there quite yet, though. Okay, let's just jump into the next one then. All right, so let's hit play here and see what this does. So it goes up, it goes down. And right here it says if count gets or equals 20, it'll go to the game over screen. So let's see if that works. Go over here 20, and boom, it wins. Okay, but what if I press down? So that just keeps going. So what we want to do is we want to change it so it will, when we get to -5, it also gets to the game over screen as well. Okay, so let's give that a go. So if we scroll down here, we can kind of compare the two. I'm going to make this a little bit larger for you to see. We want to basically do the same thing as up here, but count is going down instead. So we're going to grab a control variable for an if statement, and we're going to pop it in right here. And we can use a math operator here. So if something gets to -5, and well, what is that something? Well, it's count. We're tracking only count at this point. So if count gets to -5, then we'll do the same thing of setting the game screen. Oops. Set screen to game over. And we need to set the text of the final score. Actually, just drop this down. Final score label, and we want the variable count in there. And that should do it. Let's try it out. There we go. It worked. On to the next one. Come on. Okay. So, we have a start over button as well. So in this one, what we want to do is, like it shows here, you get 20, hit start over, and we want the count to get to 0. So how do we do that? All right, so set the screen to gameplay screen. So the start over button, oops, let's go here. So we know we're going to set it. So the start over button is going to go back to the gameplay screen. All right, good there. And then we're probably going to need to set some text as well. Actually, let's just go to the order they have. Set the count variable to 0. So we don't need to make a new variable. We just need to modify it. So we're going to do count equals 0, or gets the value of 0. And we probably have to set a label as well. Set the correct text label on the gameplay to show 0. Otherwise, if we run it right now, and I hit start over, it'll still say -5, even though it's really at 0. So we want to make sure that happens right away so people notice it and see it. So text, set text of, what is it? The final score, count display label to count. Let's see if that works for us. Gets to -5, I hit start over, and it displays 1. We're good. Ta-da! Alright, kind of a mistake. Let's see what happens when we run it. Whoa. 20. Let's run this one. -5. Wow. Okay, so it's not counting. So this is a common mistake here. So we have var count equals 0. And then we have count equals count plus 1. So that part works. It's adding 1 each time. But look here. If count equals 20. Huh? We're making count get the value of 20 inside this if statement. No, it needs to be a comparison operator. So instead of equals, we want double equals sign, and then that'll work. And down here we have the same issue going on. So if you want to actually, plop it in, you can do it like this, but we want it to be a comparative operator. So if count equals -5, you can do it that way too. So they need to look like that. It's a comparison operator, not a single equals, a double equals, because we want to compare. There we go. 19. What's happening here? Alright, that seems to be fine. That's fine. Oh! Whoa! It's up there again. So we need to reset the value here. So when we hit the start over button, we need then to change the variable to back down to 0. So set text display 0. No, you don't want to set 0. You want to actually say the word count. And we want the value of count to be set to 0 as well. Let's see if that does it for us. Yep, that worked just fine. Perfect. Again, you can try any of these on your own. Okay. Alright, this is the last one, I think. Alright, another common mistake. Let's run it, see what's going on. Whoa! Look at that, -3. So we actually want to do 3, which is great, but at the same time we want it to actually make sure it hits our mark. So if it goes over 20, well, that's not right. So we want to make it so it can look at the code, read common mistakes. Once you fix the issue, move on. Okay. So instead of using the comparison operator equals or double equals, we are going to use instead the greater than less than. Oh, does it not give us that one? Hold on a moment. See, I thought we could just use a greater than or less than sign, but they don't give you that operator. So I guess what they want us to do instead is, I'm going to actually leave that in there. But instead of 20, you can't, 3 doesn't fit into 20 evenly, so I'm going to say 21 instead. And for this one, we will do -6 instead. So this is a logical error. It's not a syntax error. It's just we needed to change the values. So let's run that now. So if I go down 3, 6, wow, you counted to -6. Okay. Going up, 21. There we go. Great. It works. All right. So for the last one, number 20, you will make a clicker game. All right. So just like the apple grabber game you had before, the idea is that it's going to jump around. So if I hit start, see right now, lose screen. So all the set screens are good for you. They're all fine. Okay. Now your job is really going to be how to trigger the lose screen, for example, and also how to get to a win screen, or how to get your you lose welcome screen. All right. So maybe you can go as high as you want on this one. It looks like. So your main task, pick a theme for your game. So not apple clicker. You can choose something else. Okay. Add variables to track some data during gameplay. So it can be, for example, the score or lives. Add code to the event handlers to update the variables and display appropriately. Okay. All right. So they give you a template to run it, and this gives you an idea. So it has 4 screens, just like you want. The game name. So you have the welcome screen, the game, and then a win. You win or you lose. Okay. So you're going to have to keep track of score and lives, or at least if they click the background, then they're dead. Okay, so this is going to take a little bit of time, and you can add sound effects and other things like that as well, but the whole point is to be able to control memory by using variables, and then have those comparison operators like equals and whatnot. They do have a random number available here. Functions. Ooh, oh, they have turtle. You could use turtle for whatever reason. All right. Oh, they even have the loops in here for you if you want to use those again. Nice. All right, cool. Well, there it is. You're going to do that, and then you're not going to do 22. Okay. We will do that later. All right, that's it. That's the end. That's lesson 5, and that's as far as we're going.